Chapter 37. The Rudy Wilson himself met us at the door of his Hollywood mansion. He was a surprisingly small elfin creature, balding and barefoot, wearing a pair of jeans he must have owned since high school, and a So Many Men, So Little Time t-shirt. He kissed Snooky and me on both cheeks. He and Marcia kissed and embraced and called each other darling, like dear old friends. Marcia, darling, Rudy nearly sang, you didn't tell me he was so beautiful. Meaning me, I tried not to smile. Such cheekbones. He scurried along the marble floor and we followed as best we could. Mr. Wilson was obviously doing quite well for himself, thank you very much. The house was done in high-tech, but very high-tech. Bare black marble floors, chrome and glass furniture everywhere, a general air as warm and homey as an empty Frigidaire. Not my particular cup of tea, I'm an Art Deco man myself, but it was striking and obviously cost mucho. My dears, Rudy called over his shoulder. I've just finished a shoot and the place is a mess. You know rock stars. Oh, of course, I said, tongue firmly planted in cheek. Rock stars, Snook said. Who? What rock stars? Rudy's studio was a veritable mob scene of makeup people, lighting people, friends, and assorted hangers-on, obviously left over from the rock star shoot, with everyone milling about while Debbie Harry tested the distortion threshold of some artfully hidden stereo speakers. Various portables, smokables, and mirrors were passed freely around, and Snooky quickly got into the swing of things, circulating the room, drinking wine, and sampling anything that crossed his path. Marcia chatted animatedly with the various exotic Hollywood types, many of whom she seemed to know personally. A tall, reed-thin blonde boy handed me a glass of wine I really didn't want. I sipped it anyways, while another pretty young man in David Bowie's old hair, a white silk caftan and entirely too much makeup, applied a late base of Max Factor Light Egyptian to my face. The dozen or so silver bracelets on the boy's right wrist played softly in my ear. You know, they created this makeup for Lena Horne, the boy said in a voice he'd borrowed from Marilyn Monroe. Yes, I did know. Pause, brush. You have beautiful skin, he said. Thank you, brush, apply. Would you like me to suck you off? I beg your pardon? I said, would you like me to, what? Here? Now I like a good BJ as much as the next fella, and this was hardly my first offer. But there was something about being so brazenly propositioned by this willowy little number in the white dress that caught me quite off guard. What's the matter, honey, he said, tickling my throat with his makeup brush. Cat got your tongue? I hadn't yet managed a coherent reply before Rudy called. Ready? It took me a while to get relaxed. I looked like a wooden Indian, and I knew it. As a general rule, I have a bit of trouble with cameras pointed in my direction. Just another bothersome little holdover from my childhood. I did not photograph well as a youngster. I still cringe at the sight of snapshots of David and me, standing next to my ever-lovely brother in the backyard or on Main Street in Disneyland beneath my mouse ears. I looked like so much compost. David is so photogenic, they'd say, careful not to mention me, and I'd want to be dead. When I was about 7 years old, I went through all of Clara's photo albums and tore myself out of each and every group picture. Lance whipped me with his thinnest belt until welts raised like bas relief on the back of my legs. I tried another approach. I became the invisible child. When Lance unleashed the brownie at family barbecues, I locked myself in the bathroom, or hid my face behind my hands. No amount of Johnny Ray, move your hands from Clara would stop me. Or slipped behind Aunt Lucille's picture hat. Except for school pictures, there is scarcely a snapshot in existence of me between the ages of 7 and 17. So there I stood in the Rudy Wilson studio. I couldn't very well lock myself in the John. Aunt Lucille was nowhere to be found. Relax, darling, Rudy coaxed as I struck one stiff, phony-looking pose after another. Relax. Finally, Snooky yelled, Damn it, honey. Would you just please fucking relax? We haven't got all day, and you're wasting this man's time. Well, that snapped me out of it right away, let me tell you. I stuck a genuine Clara Jane Rousseau attitude, hands on hips, leaned forward, head cocked to one side, and said, Well, how'd you just like to kiss my big black ass, okay? Beautiful, Rudy cried over the constant click-whir of his camera. Not exactly what I had in mind, but at least you're relaxed. I smiled at Snooky. The little son of a gun really knew me like a book. Rudy darted about, clicking his camera rapid fire, clucking orders to the people shoving around huge hot lights and reflectors, and the wind machine that billowed my shirt, if not my hair. I dug the way Rudy called everyone darling, or dear, or sweetheart, just as I had always imagined a hip, happening Hollywood photographer would talk, and I played high fashion model to the max. I was the cover of GQ. I was the cover of the Rolling Stones. I was Susie Parker and Twiggy in Ebony Fashion Fair. I sucked in my cheeks and shook my completely immobile hair. When Rudy actually said, "Lick your lips, darling," I did. When he was finished, Rudy kissed me full on the mouth. "My dear," he said, "if you don't get a picture out of that, my name ain't the Rudy Wilson."